Hey, and welcome to The Fool's Journey. I am not Bryan Lahr, but I'm going to bring Bryan Lahr on here in just a second. And here he is. What's happening, Mr. Lahr?
Hey, really happy. I can't believe it's actually happening. I'm so stoked.
I'm so excited for this. Well, welcome to The Fool's Journey for anybody who's out there now or watching on the replay. We are starting this journey live. So if you're out there now and you're in the chat room, feel free to join us and interact with us. We love to exchange energy with each other.
Yes, please. I'd love for everyone to participate.
Very cool. So I just wanted to, since this is the first, we're just embarking on the fool's journey, so to speak. I wanted to talk a little bit about what exactly it was, and I met Bryan Lahr online, actually, through Common Interest Group on Facebook. We're both photographers, and we've both experimented with light painting. Bryan a lot more than I have. I do a different thing with my photography than he does, but we had a common artist that we liked, Eric Perret, who kind of invented these tubes and was doing this style that prevails the internet. I think so many people are doing that style, but that's great. He's inspired a whole generation. But Bryan's photography, you can actually see it here in the background a little bit, and I'm going to bring it up, was what brought us together. I'm going to bring up a window here. We were part of a group for light painting photography, and I saw this work and I was just really amazed by it. I'm going to go through a couple of pieces here. And this is some of the more commercial applications of the work. So Bryan was actually doing this professionally. And then this is some of his artistic vision. He was creating a graphic novel with some of the work, which was also quite amazing. And so I reached out to him, and we became fast friends over the light painting photography. As you can see here, it's very, very magical. And I started to talk to him about something that I had been wanting to do with my own artwork, and that was I was thinking about turning it into a deck of tarot cards. That's one of the images that we've got here in the background. It's an amazing image. Some of these things are phenomenal. If you want to see some more of Bryan's work, you can go to I think his professional website really is where his work is, but wizardofod.com is what this show is all about. So I'm going to leave that scrolling in the background. I see Bryan beaming in the background. I think I could see actually light coming off of him right now. But this is Bryan's amazing work. And I started talking to him about wanting to do a tarot deck with my own work. And he said, oh, you know what? I think it's a great idea. I did a tarot deck with mine, and we got closer and talked more, and the history and the depth of what Bryan did with his tarot cards made me realize I wasn't quite ready to do that with my artwork, but I was definitely ready to learn the depths of what the tarot is, and it's not just the tarot, it's also the angel cards and the oracle cards. So the angel deck specifically, when I was looking at the manual, there are 72 angels.
That's correct. Yes.
And Bryan goes through each angel and the name and the significance of each angel, and it's so phenomenally in depth. So I'm going to introduce to you to Bryan Lahr, and he is for over 40 years he studied with mystics and shaman. He is a shaman himself. I've seen him do some magical things, and I'm so grateful to be a friend of his, call him a good friend, and be putting this show together and taking this journey and learning all about the tarot. Jill is out there. What's up, Jill?
Hey,
Good to
Jill.
see you. So, Bryan, welcome to your show.
Oh, thank you so much. It really is the fool's journey. It's a magical. I can't believe how many synchronicities all have gotten tied together with this one thing, and I'm so stoked. And I did this 10th anniversary deck a while back, and Michael got one of those. Yes, exactly. And he was going to start. He wanted to start reading, and that sort of gave us the idea to do the show. So we're gonna start from scratch and go through this deck, and we'll start with unboxing it, cleaning it up, blessing it, and doing a first card read, as well as talk about the significance of the first card in the deck, which is the Fool. And very, very excited about the opportunity to do this. And just seeing this beautiful, little box, gold foil encrusted with the manual, man. Everybody thinks the deck is hard. It's this freaking manual. You can't see it in this, but it's like every card, all the meanings have to be connected. And this is a really different deck. Michael was talking about wanting to do his own deck. And the way this got started for me was my teacher was goading me into trying to do a deck. And I was like, man, dude, that's 78 pieces of art. Before you even get into the tarot aspect of it, you've got to come up with 78 pieces of art that do something specific. And then it just was overwhelming. So he conned me into doing a single card. And I just would love to see what you do with it.
Yeah.
So I did one card, wound up on this cool mirrored smoke technique, and man, I got hooked, and that was it. So really super stoked to be doing this right now. So you want to get into the well, before we do that, we are going to be really centered on the tarot and examining the angel deck as well. But everything that we do through this, the readings, everything, the cleaning, all is going to come from the point of view of the energy world and the way energy flows. So that's going to be kind of like the mindset behind everything that we do with these. There'll be a whole host of crazy, weird friends of mine that come on and guest and hopefully share their knowledge as well. That's the marvelous thing about tarot. It's a living, growing thing that's always changing and evolving, and there are many different interpretations as there are tarot readers. And yep. I love diving into all of them. So we'll be doing that, and we'll also be. I'm going to try to bring some cool, super simple magic that works. Like some Jinjitsu things, some really special home remedy things that are super easy, super cheap, super effective, and awesome. All stuff I've road tested for years, and I know they really work and have become part of my everyday toolbox. So we'll have a nice little potpourri of smorgasbord. Yeah,
I can't wait. And I just wanted to say that we didn't put this show together to sell anything really, but that's the magic of who Bryan is. I think is he's created this deck or a bunch of decks that are just so great that we just want to share that. And if you want to get one, that's all cool too. But you were talking about the manual, and I was looking for it a lot, and I did find it, and I just wanted to kind of share it. Let me see if I need to shrink it down, if I can possibly make it smaller. Oh, there we go. Good. So I didn't mean to make it that small. I just wanted to show the kind of the in-depth instruction manual you have here. So I got to get
this. It's super simple.
It's so easy. That's it. You got
this first part of it really relates to most of the other. I combined not only a tarot system, but a number of other divination systems: Ifayo, Dews, Germanic runes, geometry, numerology, several different other things, so that you can, in one reading, get like all these different perspectives, which is kind of what made my deck unique. So this
Right.
first part of this really explains all of those different systems and gets you into it.
I'm not scrolling slowly. My computer suddenly just like kind of stalled.
Yeah,
So.
you're kind of geeky too on your voice, so you're kind of crackly up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been waiting to get you started on these since you got them, man. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, no, we got to wait for the show. We got to wait for the show. We got to wait for the show. Well, we're here. Woohoo.
All right. So how's that? Is that any better?
Nope, absolutely not. Really crunchy. No. And now your mouth is out of sync.
Hold on a second. All right. I've closed everything. How's that? Any better? Not yet?
Not yet.
All right. I'm going to come back. Bryan, why don't you take a moment to talk about yourself? I'll be right back.
All right. No worries. So it really has been a crazy journey. And one of the things, we'll just get into this now, like the Fool. The first card in the deck is the Fool. And the first 22 cards of the deck are the major arcana. Those are the things that deal with universal issues and topics. And then the rest of the card, the minor arcana, deal with daily, everyday kinds of actions and things going on. One of the things that was really magical about the major arcana to me when I discovered it is that it's not just a series of cards, but all those cards are interrelated. And it starts with the Fool, who represents you starting off on this journey where you're going off, you see the bright sunlight in the background, you know, there's something really amazing off in the distance, and you're going for it with every ounce of your energy and with this absolute wide-eyed naivete almost, where you just know everything's going to be perfect and you have absolute faith that this is going to work out just exactly right, although you don't have a clue. So you leave your old life behind, you pick up your stuff, and you start on the path. And each one of these cards that happens after that represents a person and a series of lessons that the Fool learns along the way. And when he gets to the 22nd card, which would be the Universe, by that time you've gone up, you've gone down, you've learned all the things you have to do, you've acquired all your skills and your abilities and knowledge to use them with wisdom, and you're ready to start off on your journey into the world fully equipped to go. But what really happens is you just start over on a new Fool's journey. But they are all amazing, and I've kind of consciously done this 4 or 5 times already over the course of the years. But I mean, literally, we're living that right now. Like, I had to move out of the place I'd lived for 15 years. Like, I sold a bunch of my stuff. Like, I pretty much, my past got obliterated in every way, shape, and form you could think of. Most of the people I know from back then have gone away. and it was really just this moment of realizing I really am just starting off into the void without a clue where it's going to go, but it's going to be good. So that's the Fool card. And the Fool will be our next card next week will be the Magus, the Magician, who is the first card that the Fool meets and has significant lessons for him. But before we get to that, are you ready to roll, Michael?
I am.
Yeah, perfect. Whatever that was.
Yeah, let me see what's going on here. Why won't it? It doesn't seem to want to switch.
It's being very mean to you tonight.
Yeah, technology is. I mean, it's responding to me. Room is my stream better?
You sound perfect, yeah, and you look
Okay.
good. You're like in sync with your mouth now, which is
Okay.
always a good thing.
Let me see why. Yeah, the it's just not responding to me. I don't know why. Hold on a second. I'm gonna just remove myself and come back in again. I'm sorry.
No worries. I hope that doesn't hurt removing yourself. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't even do that. Wow. Uh, very strange.
Is there anything I can do from this end?
No, no, I think I just, you know what? I think I just need to, you just need to do your thing, and I need to probably reboot my computer. So
Okay.
it's gonna take me a few minutes. So
No
uh,
worries.
when I come back, let's start with,
We're going to clean your deck. We're going to
yeah,
unbox
cleaning
it.
it.
We'll clean the deck and go through
Yeah,
that whole route, and then we'll pull the first card.
awesome. Sounds good. Uh,
So I saved my own deck to clean tonight, along with Michael's. We'll do it side by side. Uh, by the way, Michael was talking about if you want to get a deck. I'm like, you know, this is such a celebration for me. Anybody like the person that if you're interested in getting one, like the 10th person that DMs me will get a free deck, and the 9 people up to that will get a promo code for a significant discount on it. So, if you're interested, I'd like to make it easy for you to get it and move forward. So, this is my old standard. As you can see, well worn. I've been, and bent, really bent. I like the oversized cards because they really just get to show the visuals off really well. All these visuals were done with incense smoke that was charged up with everything I knew about the archetype and the card beforehand. And I lit the incense, let the smoke just crank, and just started shooting away until my solar plexus went, yeah, that's it. And really a magical experience all the way. Yeah. I also do a thing where I mirror the image so that you get a kind of symmetrical image that really kind of lends itself to seeing some crazy things. Yeah, this is one of my favorite cards. This is the Ace of Cups, which relates to intuition and messages from heaven and a heavenly blessing. This all usually relates to the initial first spark of love in many ways. So when I was doing one of the things that's kind of different about the Wizard of Oz deck is that it has 3 Magus cards. I grew up. I've been reading tarot for about 40 years, and like most people, I cut my teeth on the Rider-Waite deck. Although my very first deck that I bought was the Toth deck, which I bought purely because I thought the artwork was just absolutely beautiful. A super talented woman named Frida Harris did that in connection with Alistair. And I just think it's really an amazing piece of artistic work. But I knew absolutely nothing about the tarot, and my knowledge of elements or planets or astrology was non-existent at the time. So none of the stuff that made that deck really special made any sense to me at all. So I went back to the super simple Rider-Waite deck. And what's great about that deck is that it has little super simple little line drawing pictures illustrating what the card is about. So I read with the Toth deck for about 25 years after I got through learning with the Rider-Waite deck, and finding some other avenues of information that make sense to me now. And so crazy journey. Also, Michael was referring to the angel deck that we'll do as well. This deck has been around for 10 years, and it is amazing the way it has sort of grown organically, and people find their way to this. I tried to do a bunch of the big publishing houses are all like, wow, that's too weird, man. Nobody will like that. But curiously enough, people that can actually use this and get drawn to this for some reason. I have a friend that I've been doing another show with out of Vienna for about 3 years. And all of his people like this deck for some reason. That they keep telling me it's alive. So that's awesome. The angel deck was made without the intent for it to be an in tandem deck with the tarot deck, but it wound up being this amazing companion to this. Michael had mentioned that there are 72 angels. They came from a system called the Shem HaMephorash, which is a system of angels from the Old Testament, the Torah. And Shem HaMephorash is 72 names of the angels of God. So I don't often, or I actually never invoke spirits inside me. I like to talk to them. They like to talk to me, but I don't ever want them in me. But with the angels, they have such a purity about their energy, and their frequency vibrates at such a high level. And there is a pureness and a truthfulness about them that made me really trust them. And I knew if I wanted to get what I wanted, I was going to have to do that. So I did automatic writing, where I went into a trance state, invited the particular angel inside, and gave them my hand and a pen and let them write out the readings, so that the readings that are in the manual are things that came from them. And that makes it really, really super special to me. I did that 72 days in a row, one a night, and did the photography for those as well. And I have to say that was a life-changing experience, because just like the 22 cards of the major arcana are an initiation and a journey of learning and expansion and evolution, those 72 cards were exactly the same as well. And the lessons that each of those angels had for me was like overwhelming. They're overwhelming now. I only pull one card. You know, with the tarot deck, I do a multiplicity of readings. I've kind of come to this four elemental column thing. It's got like 12 cards in it. And but with the angel deck, I wind up only pulling one card, because the very first paragraph of the reading, and they're not super long, the very first paragraph of the reading does this amazing job of identifying where your emotional state is, where you're at right now, and what's going on around you, the situation you find yourself in. And then the second paragraph winds up being this tangible, touchable, actable advice on how to either mitigate a bad situation that's going on and a less than productive path that you might be on, or continue and to enhance and ensure that this really good role goes out. And you would think that 72 readings over the course of 8 years would get to be really, it's like, how could those keep relating with specificity to every question you possibly have? But like, oh my word, it's like so most of the time, the first 4 or 5 words, it's like I could stop reading. They've answered the question. I was like, we were talking about the angel deck right now.
I was actually watching on my phone. I was like, oh my God, I got to wait for my computer to restart. So I was watching on my phone, just kind of cheering you on and sending you the energy. Yeah, that amazing, amazing. I apologize. I don't know what's up with the technology tonight, but I'm back.
You know, my brother, it's pretty good. I discovered a philosophy of art about 30 years ago called wabi sabi. It's a Japanese philosophy of art, and it basically is the art is in the imperfections. So ever since then, I plan fuck ups in my stuff. I tear my like a
You embrace them. You embrace them.
Oh, totally. Yes, absolutely. I mean, you make that part of the adventure.
It's awesome.
And it's a fool's journey, man. There you go.
There you go. Well, we're off to a great start here on the Fool's Journey. Well, I'm back, and I'm super excited. You've talked about it. People have seen it.
Open up that deck, buddy.
We're about to open this up. This is a beautiful, so beautiful.
You know, it was such a treat after, you know, getting it self-published the first time, and along the way, really an effort, and it didn't come easy. And I was only able to afford the most minimal printing on it.
Right.
And to be able to like really do it with beautiful paper and like the edge of the deck and like, oh God, dude,
Yeah.
really.
So this is the manual that we were talking about. So I was trying to show this with the PDF, but let me see if I can show some of the pages here that just really lay it out. I mean, here we go. I don't want to destroy this, but you know, there's like almost like a
it's got keywords on it, so that like if you've never read a deck before, the very first time you bust it out, you could do a reading, you know, and those are printed right on the deck itself, so you know that makes it really easy. And then it's got all of the elemental associations. Those are planetary squares that are on some of the major arcana cards that you can use for making sigils, and it's really a pretty extensively. It's got a lot of legs.
yeah, really, really in depth. All right, so tell me what to do. I've got
Okay, so once you take it out, you know, bust out the deck itself.
Okay, so I've got the deck busted out. It is officially busted out.
All right, and the very first thing we need to do is cleanse it from any other energy that exists in that. And there are a multiplicity of ways to do that, but my philosophy is the only way to really clean it effectively, and that's whether you're using sage or Palo Santo or you're leaving them in the moonlight or whatever. Those things are really good and vehicles for stuff, but the thing that actually cleanses it is your actual fire, your juice, your energy. So what you need to do is gather your juice in your solar plexus. Gather, you know, get really focused on that. Gather your energy in your solar plexus and charge that energy with your intent to flush those cards out with that juice. Okay. And, you know, if you're right-handed, energy will flow in through your left, through your body, through a lot of circuits, and out through your right hand.
Okay.
So what you want to do is hold the deck in your right hand. That's your projective hand, your naturally projective hand. And as you're thinking about that, now you've got that energy programmed with your intent, and it knows that it's going to clean that. So with your focus, pull that energy up, down through your arm, and imagine it like a fire hose that's just blasting it out. So that the only thing that is left there after that is your own energy sequence, your own frequency. Take your time. You let me know when you're good.
I'm great.
Okay. All right. Now that those cards are clean, imprint yourself in there. That doesn't take a lot of juice. Just imprint yourself. Like, these are mine. These are part of me. These are now not separate from me, but they're part of my energy field. You know, different occult philosophies over the centuries have talked about the concept of a holy guardian angel, the Algalides, your higher self. Those are different aspects of what really is happening, is that there is another you, like exactly you, but it's operating like with you at the same time, but on frequencies that are so high you can't really perceive them from this mode. Sure. So what you're actually doing is teaching that being the language of these, and that's who will have communication back and forth with you. That's not really the cards. It's you talking to you, to your clear you.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So now that these are clean, you want to bless them, and just make them sacred and holy. And from this moment on, be careful where you put them, and put them somewhere where you give them a little reverence. You'll get back from them the same kind of reflection of the energy you put into them. So if you're treating them as something really, really special, they'll give you that back. Okay. All right. Now, are you good?
I'm great.
Okay. Now let's go into a shuffling mode.
Okay.
This is a big deck, and these cards are on a pretty substantial stock. And the thought of bending them up like I did to these just makes me sick. So there's a great way to shuffle these that you don't have to bend them. I guess we should go to the card thing, and I think I could show you there better. Yeah. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is take the deck, and you're going to want to pull a card off the bottom and a card off the top. Place those down.
Just one, or?
Just one. And you just keep doing that until you go through the entire deck.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right? So you're taking a card off the bottom. I've got it down now where I can kind of push one out with my fingers on the bottom and my thumb at the same time. It took a little while to get practice with that, but this is a great way to randomize it. That's what you really need. Every time you do a reading, you need to shuffle those cards enough so that they have nothing of the last reading in there. And in this case, with your brand new deck, they're all in order, so you need to really give them a good shake up. Okay, so we get through these. Yeah, almost there. Okay. And then once you do that once, I usually pull a third of the deck out, put it on the top or bottom, doesn't really matter, and do it again. And get them nice and shuffled. I try to keep them, I don't usually read reverses, so I keep my decks situated so that they're all upright. Again, this is just my method for doing it. There's as many different methods as there are stars in the sky, but this one works pretty well. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. So you're all good?
Yep.
All right. I always like to do an initial single card pull with the intent to speak to me about my relationship with this deck.
Okay. Did we miss it? You had me get some sage. Did we miss a step?
You know, well, sort of. We did that at the
Yeah.
cleansing, but actually, the most important part of that was
Right.
the way you did it, which was my preferred
Gotcha.
way to go
I
anyway.
got you. Okay.
So, if you're going to use sage or you're going to use Palo Santo, just make sure before you light them up that you do that same thing with the energy and you infuse those things with that intent and your energy signature. That's super, super critical. It's not
Gotcha.
just that the smoke goes out and does that. It's what you have put into it and the intent.
Sure, that makes sense.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I, to be honest with you personally, I never use sage or anything else anymore. I only use my own energy.
Okay. Well, I definitely
Okay.
did that. Yeah.
Okay. So what you want to do is cut the deck.
Okay.
And curiously, yeah, what's the when you cut the deck, what's the card on the top part that you cut off? The Chariot. That's victory. That is total victory. Total victory. All right. What's the next card? What's the card on the top of the?
Oh,
No.
on the top, the other half.
Yeah. All right. That's the Four of Pentacles, and that card represents wealth that is stable and that you have put away for storage, for safekeeping. And it is about acquiring wealth, but it also has a caution about that, like a bunch of different decks picture that as a chest that has been locked up, but you don't see the key anywhere. So you want to make sure that money is like you have access to, you have free flow with it, and that it works in its flow of not just being stagnant and going away. Because you can acquire it, and if you don't grow it and let it be part of that flow,
Right, of course.
it winds up going away. And
so I just want to do these cards justice and hold them up here and
yes,
best I
yes.
can.
So for me, when that Chariot card, the very first card I had you pull, or underneath, that's not really part of the reading for me, but over the years, I've come to see that as a real indicator of what the rest of the reading is going to be about. It's kind of very, very, very cool.
Okay, awesome.
How are we doing for time, Michael?
Oh, we're fine. We're 9:30.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, we're good. And nobody's, you know what? Nobody's paying us. We're not getting paid. We're doing this out of love.
Yeah.
Time is irrelevant, right? Okay, so what am I doing now with these two cards? Anything specific or?
Okay, no, the card, and I would write this down somewhere. Also, I would highly encourage you to start a journal of some kind.
Okay.
And as we do these cards, just make some notes.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but the act of doing that winds up cementing it in my mind a lot better.
You know what? I've been told this very recently to, that I should start journaling, and I have actually. I had an amazing business meeting last week with some really, really giving, loving people that are doing a lot of really good stuff, and that was where the message of just show up came through, and I just feel like the universe is putting us all in the right spot. So and the whole idea of writing stuff down was in the meeting. There was a couple things I wrote specifically as words to manifest. You know what I mean?
Well, I have to say, from the moment I started learning with my teacher, well, way before that, but certainly since then, I've kept copious notes. And I've got a couple of shelves worth of notebooks that have recorded all that crap. And when I go back and look at that stuff from 15 years ago,
amazing.
It's great to have. Right. It really is.
So what should I write down about what I pulled here?
I would say that your first card pull is the Four of Pentacles.
I think the Chariot was the first one. No,
your Chariot was just your undercut.
Oh,
and
okay.
that kind of is just kind of like the tone of what's going to come up. But I don't count that as part of the card. The only card I would count as that as the reading would be the Four of Pentacles. That is an Earth card. Anything that has to do with the Earth, with Pentacles, has to do with real stuff like money, property, things that are going on in the real world. It's not mental stuff. It's not energy. It's like, here it is. Yes.
Okay.
So that's really telling you that, you've got money available. You've got money coming in. You're gonna get a significant chunk uh, to manage, but to make sure that you let it flow.
Awesome. That's good news for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I just put those cards back where in the cut, or?
The box is so cool that, I just keep mine in there. Some people, like I keep my other ones. I have a satin bag that I keep them in, a silk bag rather.
Right.
And, just find somewhere special, a box, somewhere that they become, they just become kind of sacred.
Great.
I like having that. It feels really special to have that connection.
Yeah, these cards feel great. They definitely do.
Can you give me 2 seconds to go refill my coffee?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'll be right back. Just real quick.
Yeah, I mean, Bryan, as you can see, is pretty amazing and very connected to the cards that he made, and it's so deeply done. He did it so deeply. You know what? Let me put him back in. Let me set it this way, so that when he comes back in. Oh no, he's here. It's just so deeply done that I felt I needed to really go with learning them before I even attempted making my own artwork into this. But
I read for a long time before. I didn't think I was ready to do it. I mean, if you want to do it past just making some pictures and putting them on some cards that other people have made, you really do need to know. But that was a great way to, I'm always looking for ways to con myself into learning, right?
Right.
It was great.
Yeah. No, and it was, it was just really, that's what it was. It was a thought of how to get these onto a thing, and it was, kind of gimmicky. And then again, when we started talking about it, I just said, oh wait, this is something here that I need to respect, and immediately I just felt it. I was overwhelmed with the idea of, okay, I need to respect it.
I know a lot of people that like just got their first deck and they've had it for a month and they're already charging people for readings. It's like,
wow.
Okay. More power to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always interested in understanding my own connection to energy. You know what I mean? And I think that for me, more than anything, that's what this represents, my own ability to connect with energy and what this science might be about.
That's something I'm really just excited about, the time that we're living in right now, as we're watching physics and science and things that were classically referred to as magic or occult, like nonsense, and those things are like coming together right now.
Right.
It's crazy. Have you seen any of the images from the James Webb telescope by any chance?
Oh my God, they're phenomenal. Oh my God.
They look like some of my pictures.
Yeah, they do. They do. That's true. That's
especially this last blast of the ones I saw, man. Some of them were like, wow, man, that looks
phenomenal.
like something I painted.
Yeah, totally phenomenal. Totally.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. And amazing. I mean, for me, growing up, there was this kind of middle section of my life where I was like, you know what, we went to the moon and then we just kind of stopped exploring space. Like, what the heck happened, and now we're back out there and full force. We're getting ready to
go to Mars.
Yeah. I mean,
Elon Musk.
Awesome. Good for humanity. Good for humanity.
Yeah, man. There's exciting things going on as much as there are. It's whatever you choose to focus on. Really
Exactly.
is. You know?
Exactly.
And if you really want to change the world, change your own energy and emanate that
Right.
all the time. So that
It's so great that you can go out there and in this climate find people who are excited about living and what's going on in the world, because there are so, there are so many people who are not seeing what's going on in the world that way, you know what I mean? And not like, oh, I don't understand that. Of course I understand seeing it that way, but like you said, it's what you focus on, and there's still so much love to be given and to be received and to be a part of,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my first part of this fool's journey was such a learning lesson in giving it up.
Mhm,
And you
mhm,
are not in control,
mhm,
which is
mhm,
a very
mhm,
difficult lesson for me to be
mhm.
learning. I want control, man. I don't want to control anyone else. I just want
Right,
control of me, you know,
right.
but not to happen, not to happen.
Mhm,
So, I wanted to share a an amazing little health thing. Unless you got any more tarot questions?
no, but Jill is saying surrender, which is so funny because as you were saying that, um what I was saying is something that I always think about when it comes to the idea of control, and that is the only way to have it is to let it go.
Relinquish, yes. You
you
know,
know
I
and
was in the worst place in my life.
yeah.
And without going into any of that, I was in this place of absolute despair where it looked like it was over for me. Like, seriously. And I discovered through a really magical process and someone that, yeah, that dude, I only had one thing that would work, and that was changing my attitude
Mhm.
from despair to joy.
Right,
Like that was the singular one thing that would work,
right.
which made me just laugh hysterically when I heard that because that seemed
Yeah.
absolutely impossible at that
And
moment.
there you go. That's how it was accomplished. All you had to do was laugh, and then you were like, "Holy, I just did
Well,
it."
truthfully, the very first part of it, I couldn't get anywhere near joy, but I
Right.
was able to kind of move the scale up to gratitude. I've had a crazy, weird life, man.
Mhm,
And I look back over the people
mhm.
I've known and the places I've gotten to see. I'm really super grateful. And I
Yeah.
was able to hold gratitude enough to kind of like change the vibe. And from there, I was able to push it up to joy. Once I hit joy, it was like,
Amazing.
woo, and I
Amazing.
never want to come back.
Amazing. So we are actually blessed. We have Jill in the audience who it looks like she is playing along with us. She wants to get your deck. She doesn't have your deck, but she pulled Ace of Wands and Magician with
Wow.
in her shuffle that you did. So
Right.
do you want to
Are
tell her
you
what?
a reader, Jill? Do you want to? I'd love your interpretation. I'll be happy to give you mine as well.
So Jill, I guess you have a deck. Um, already. So it is a good question. I guess you are a reader, or at least you're dabbling in it, and that's why you're here to maybe learn a little bit about it, which is great. Um, so
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
she
the
says she
aces.
says she says
Okay.
nope. She's
Great.
a newbie.
Okay. So the aces represent the archetype of the elements. The ace of wands represents the archetype of fire, and that represents the energy that is the inception of the energy to start something new, and that excitement and that blast of fuel to get you going. It's not focused yet, but that's what that's about. So there's this new excitement about something at the beginning of
Mhm,
something, and there's the energy of it to be able to move forward.
mhm,
And all of the aces, like the ace of cups is the archetype of water and emotions. The archetype are the ace of swords is the archetype of air and mental activities, and the ace of pentacles, like we were just discussing, the archetype of earth and the way things manifest. So if you pulled the ace of the Ace of Wands, and the Magician. So it's the energy to start something new. And the Magician has the skills. He's got the craft. He's got the tools. He's connected to Mercury, man. Mercury knows everything about everything. So he's got the skills to be able to get whatever you need to have happen off the ground, make the plans, take that energy and give it life. So whatever you're working on.
That is, I know, Jill, and that is a very accurate reading. That is really very accurate right off the bat.
Thanks, Jill.
Yeah. Totally. Awesome.
Hey, Jill, if you're a newbie, please, like any questions you have, bring them on.
She's got a ton of them. She's yeah. She's got a ton of them, and you know what? I'm pretty sure she's going to probably pick up one of your decks.
Awesome.
Yeah. So awesome. So are we just pulling one card for tonight and calling it like that's enough?
I think that's enough to get started with, and I would practice your shuffle technique. We're going to do this show once every Monday until we get bored, or no one wants to watch and they kick us off.
Right.
Well, that's sort of the great thing. Nobody can kick us off. So we'll do a card next week. We'll do the Magician. And we'll go into a simple 3-card layout and what that means. Then the next week we'll do the Priestess, and we'll go into the 4-card, the 4-element reading, and keep expanding it and go with that. And maybe next week we'll pull an angel card.
Cool. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I mean, we have this little third camera. Why don't you put the decks just on the table or the boxes right there so we can see them?
Yeah, let me go grab it.
Proudly display them. I have my tarot deck, which is the Wizard of Oz, and then the angel deck right here is Deus Angelis, I believe. Yep, that's what it's called. And this one is also beautiful, special collector's edition. It's so hard to hold it up to like a mirror that's not a mirror because it's like,
I know, right?
But again, a beautifully boxed set of Bryan's art. So Jill says yes, she messaged me or you, but she's definitely looking to get a deck.
Awesome.
Yeah, some again, I'm super excited because I don't think I even knew or imagined the depth that it could go to. I mean, again, I know that there's probably people who just get cards and don't know much about them and connect to them energetically and can do readings and can connect to them. But really, I think knowing the deep history and the way we're going to go about it, I'm super excited. And I'm imagining we'll probably end up having some interesting conversations about some interesting things as well.
I certainly hope so. Yes.
Bryan has, for those of you in the audience who I haven't told this story to, because I have told a few people, Bryan is a mystic, like a modern day mystic, which means, again, he works with these things on an energetic level, with a background in the science and what was the other word I've been using to describe you? Just a really in-depth understanding of what it's all about. And maybe at one point we could get Bryan to show us how he can actually move physical matter with just his mind.
Sure.
It's something amazing to see. Here's
what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. I've been studying with a teacher that, I've really been focused on telekinetics, moving stuff, energy work of all kinds, for a long, long time. So, I've gotten a little intro 4-class course that gives you the tools to get in that you need to start to the actual study. And those 4 courses, those 4 classes, even if you don't take that any farther, are, oh man, they change your life with having that. So the first one is getting and accessing your energy. Second class is the aura and all of its structures. Fourth class is cleansing, charging, shielding, grounding, all that kind of stuff. The fourth class is actually moving a rod, an antenna around in a circle.
I didn't want to give it away. I want people to. I want people. It's like to hang on for the whole season, and maybe at the end of the season we'll do it.
Well,
give them a reason to tune in. Jill,
there's a lot of effects, dude. There's a lot of things besides that. That's just the very
first. Asking an interesting question. She's asking if that is 5D.
I don't know.
Okay, like I guess what she's saying is, the ability to connect with physical matter that way, is that a 5-dimensional?
No. What you're doing is you're grabbing on. Most of the time, people spend their time going up, want to elevate. That's all great, but we live on planet Earth in the material world with a density that's like this frequency. So the gig is to go up, bring that energy down and dial it down so that it now has substance in this reality. And that's not really another dimension. That's just work. That's you working to your full potential. Right now, people only work with half of themselves. They work with their physical body. But
I don't even think half. I think a very small percentage.
But really, I mean, your astral body is as structured and specific as your physical body. And your astral body is really the software that runs the hardware of your body.
Right.
And without really understanding how your aura works and how to deal with that and keep that clean, just like you keep your body clean, that's where disease and all kinds of things happen that are yucky.
Right. So, you know what? It overcame me, the idea of keeping people watching and coming back. So you shared with me recently a story that I would love for you to relay if you can quickly. It's 9:58, so I think we got some time. And take as long as you want with the story. But you were talking about just now the whole idea of your astral self and your physical self.
Yes.
And you told me the story of one of your teachers taking your hand and you instantly
this is just going to sound like bullshit to people.
No. This is amazing, dude. This is what I think people want to. This is what they'll hold on for, because this is such an amazing story.
Well,
so
okay.
If you don't.
So this is a great story. Choose to believe it or not. Whether you don't, it's still a really great story. But this happened. I got to meet my teacher's teacher, and like he took my right hand, and in an instant I was in San Francisco. We're in Miami, down in Miami, and boom, in the place it was like you pick up a pebble or a ticket stub or something that lets you know you were there. Okay, did that. Second I picked that up, boom, we're in New York, Times Square. Boom, we're London. Boom. And there were 6 different places, all of which then brought me back to Miami. And I'm like, what? And so you just, they're kind of a strange moment for that to happen. So that made me realize that, and in my pocket, I had the things from each place, and that made it glaringly obvious that wasn't an astral projection or some sort of mental hypnosis thing. Like, we actually went there. How the fuck did that happen? That's impossible, man. That took me a week to kind of just even come down from, because
Amazing.
as cool as that was, the second I'd get over thinking like how cool that was, I was going, no. And you consider, am I crazy? Did I just lose it? Have I gone like over the edge now? Possible. But I was in San Francisco, man.
Such an amazing story, and if you want to know more, stay tuned to this new show that we've created here, The Fool's Journey, because it's just, I am the fool, you are the fool, Bryan is the fool, and
We all are.
we're all the king. We are all
We're all at the beginning of the journey.
Yeah, we're starting something new here, and thank you guys for coming, because I see 5 or 6 of you out there and 8 of you at one point, and I appreciate it. Jill, thanks for participating.
Thank you, Jill.
Yeah, you guys feel free to participate. I mean, this show is it's
Please.
for Bryan to teach me, but it's also for, the world to, I guess, experience these things. I'm gonna put this up there. Subscribe. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, you know what? It's not showing because of the banner. Let me turn that banner off. But we have a channel on YouTube, so please subscribe. That will help us, just grow the message and join the algorithm or whatever it is that they say. Leave your comments. Again, this is for everybody. This is going to be great. Jill loved it. She's in. So we've got a regular viewer already. So we're off to a good start. That's pretty awesome.
Bring some questions next week, Jill. Let's get you going.
Yeah. So if you have your own angel decks or oracle decks, just have them by your side and channel that energy. We'll definitely be focusing on the Wizard of Oz and Deus Angelus decks. So anyway, this was awesome, Bryan. Thank you so much.
Can't believe we actually made it, man. Awesome.
We did it, man. And
time nothing blew up. Right?
Awesome. All right, guys.
Man.
So we'll be back next
guys.
week, and we'll see you next week on The Fool's Journey. Bye.
Awesome.
Peace.